Hey, how's it going, YouTube? So today we're going to have a video on just going to reevaluate and lay out my EDC pack kit and everything that's entailed in there. This is inspired by Fourth Dimension. Did one the other day on his kind of EDC pack layout, and what better time than now to go through your own stuff and just reevaluate and repack and see what you're missing. Things get taken in and out through the year or whatnot. What did you forget? What did you forget to put back in? What do you just need to take out some more things? And just see where you're at. I did one of these a couple years ago when I had the previous pack that I had. I did one of these during the springtime, of where I showed all the kit and the new, considerations for changing seasons and the different environments you may be worried about, and just moving forward to either augment or take out and replace or whatever. So we'll just go real quick, hopefully give some people some ideas, and just look at how I do mine, and comment, like, or whatever on this video. So we'll just start off. Obviously on the outside I have the pair of shears I carry around. Trauma shears are excellent cutters for just about anything you need. And the side pockets here, I do have a small, that's really nothing, Tic Tacs that are probably ancient. That probably doesn't really mean much. Over here I do carry a tourniquet. So I carry a cat tourniquet. Obviously for catastrophic wound, it's good to have handy, whether you're at the range or anywhere else. There's a pin in there I didn't know was there. Got some napkins. Again, this is an everyday carry, so literally every day I'm jamming stuff in here or whatnot. So I've already identified 2 pins I can ditch. So in this outer pocket I do have a Sharpie, large Sharpie, indispensable. That's a bracket, don't need that. 2 chem lights, a red and a yellow, just for use. Set that aside. I got a lighter, obviously a lighter. Make sure that still works. Yeah, lighters are always good to maintain on hand. I got extra antenna for my Bowfang. I've got the extended whip antenna, and then I just put the extra one inside my EDC kit. Got a carabiner with a magnesium block fire starting. So a second source of fire starting, plus the carabiners are always useful. I've also got a jeweler's tool on the end here for like doing your glasses, sunglasses, small screws. On the other end you can take it off and does a Phillips. Note cards, so something to write on if I need it. Index cards, if you will. It's always good to have some type of notebook or some type of writing in there. Some toothpaste that I use daily. When you're away from the house, take that break before after lunch or whatever. A few extra batteries, AA's, and they expired 2017. Probably still be good, but it'd be good to replace them maybe, or just go ahead and put them in an item that I'm using. Got a baggie of Motrin to have on hand whenever you're traveling or whatnot. Flashlight, stream light, still working, operational. Use that regularly. It's good to check on that. Got a small sewing kit, small threads, needles. I have put some of that super duper thread in here that I was using the other day for the pack repair. I do have some in here that I've put away. I got some change in here that I could probably take out. Got dumped in there. That's trash. So we'll get that stuff out of here. Set that aside. I got a small ouchie kit, I guess you'd say. Band-aids, some 2x2s, some alcohol pads, just small stuff for the small wounds, nothing big, just enough to if you actually cut yourself on something with your knife, or maybe you got your knife out, just a small cut, that would take care of business. Pack of Q-tips, my beanie. Talked about this in the video back a while back, having a cold weather cap in the winter. It's tucked away in your EDC, and really keeping it here at all times, because even in the summer, or especially out here in the high desert, you could be out in the summertime and you have to go down at night. That cap will keep you warm. The temperatures do drop quite a bit. Got a compass and a whistle. Whistle obviously for signaling, for calling an emergency, or if you get lost, whatever reason you need to signal something. And I got a compass, obviously, keep my cardinal direction if visibility is low or whatnot. Pretty much I can terrain associate anywhere I go, but if the visibility gets down, having a way to keep your cardinal directions is important. The zip ties in the wrong pouch. Got stuck in there, jammed in there somehow. Here's a good trick if you get the opportunity. Old pill bottle. Stuff some lint in there from your dryer. Fire starting kit. You can put matches in there with it and still have plenty. And wrap tape around the outside to have some extra duct tape on hand. Little trick, multiple use there with that. So that's in there. So small cordage, section of 550 cord, and maybe about 100 feet. Obviously multiple uses. There's the zip ties shoved down in there in the wrong spot. Set those over here to reorganize. We get all this done. And that should be that for that. I'll go back out here to this most outside pouch that we got going. Camera cover doesn't really important, not part of really EDC. I got a power protein bar. It's always good when you miss breakfast. I got some emergency because it's that time of year. I bought a package and just dumped a bunch of it in here. So whenever you feel like anybody is using it, so I got a pretty good fair amount of that in there just for the seasonal stuff. So we're good on that. I got some travel shampoo and conditioner just to have on hand whenever do a lot of traveling or whatever. Forget your own. At least I got somebody to stay clean. I just stuffed it in here. Headlamp. This is an indispensable headlamp. I've had this thing for almost 20 years, 18, something like that. It's a Petzl, really tiny, uses watch batteries, the CR25s or whatever. But this thing goes and goes and gives you just enough light, especially in a survival situation or like in an EDC. It's very, like you see, compact and does have that red light, and you also have the signaling with the blinking light that you can do. Very cool piece of kit. I don't think they make these anymore. They made one similar a couple years after, but I don't know if you can find one this small anymore. I mean, this is a pretty tight, compact unit. And these watch batteries, obviously your watch lasts for 5-7 years on the same battery. When you're not using this thing, it lasts and lasts. It stores away good. Size comparison, there's your probably standard ibuprofen bottle. It's no bigger than that. What else I got here? That's the double A's. Compared to the size of the double A's. Really compact unit. I don't know if you can find anything like that, but if you can, I'd definitely recommend getting one. Handy and stays out of the way. I got too much emergency. I think I could pare down on that. I remember getting the box and I just opened it up and dumped it all in here. So that's that for that pouch. I have one more outside pouch. Here I've got spare extra magazines for the everyday carry unit. They go in the outside pouch there. And I got a small set of bungees, and this is where my zip ties should be. I have a small grip of zip ties, just to varied sizes, just to have on hand. Again, you never know. And they can be useful for setting up shelter or whatever. So those are in there. Alright, main pouch. Hat. Always have a bald hat in there. Always need, never know you need to cover your head. Not just the cold weather, but from the sun. So always carry the, you see me have this hat on a lot in videos, probably. As you can see, it's fairly warm, but it's just mostly for sun protection in those sunny days. I've got my freak chart from my local freak, from my Bofang, from my local area, that I can keep on hand, so that I know what repeaters and what frequencies to tune to in the local area. Well, this is statewide, I think, actually, or northern. It's all northern Nevada. You can pull stuff like that up offline, your local amateur radio network. I got a planner that I use for work, so that's EDC, but it's not really emergency stuff. It's more work related, so I have it for that for EDC. So again, this bag is used every day. This is just my case for camera and stuff. Not really important. Water bottle. This is a 40 ounce, so I got an extended size water bottle. Actually says it, yeah, 40 ounce. Can't say enough about having a good amount of water. So this is just over a quart, and you can refill it obviously when you need to. Yeah, you need water. It's up here especially. It's gonna be hard and far and few between to actually get water re-topped out, so we're gonna need to have that at all times. Carry a small pair of binos. It's, you know, the desert, you can see a long way up here, so it's good to have your binos on you just to give you that little bit of extra vision, being able to see out. If if you're getting in a situation before you walk there, you won't be able to see what you're getting into, and here in the desert you can definitely do that with just even the 10 power binos. Contact gloves, just something to, it's more of a warmth, keep you from getting frostbite when touching cold metal objects, primarily what those are good for. What else I got here? Junk mail, get that out of there. Another piece of mail, get that out of here. Survival blanket, key to have in there. You put on your hat, your gloves, and you wrap stuff up in this. It'll get you, lay on the ground and hopefully survive. Hopefully. What else I got stuffed down in here? Some more mail. So this is why you do these things. Find those things you just stuck in here through the year. Trash. Oh, I got another power bar stuck in the wrong. Protein bar stuffed in the wrong pocket. Water straw, aqua straw, water purifier, obviously is important to have, so come up on any water source. Using that in conjunction with my water bottle, important to have. Got a small tree saw, keep in there. Small tree saw, just cut up branches, build a fire, whatever you need to do. A small Ziploc. I keep a couple of small Ziplocs usually to bag anything you need to bag. Maybe you come across some berries, you just put them in a baggie, whatever. Catch water. Many usages you can think of. I usually carry. Oh, here's my more work gloves that I showed in that other video. I have a pair of those in there. So we're ready to go with some protective gloves to go to work. Spare battery, battery charger for like cell phones or any other electronic device, charged by camera or whatever. See how it's charged. Yeah, it's fully charged. That's good, and got a cable also as well. Another baggie, small Ziploc. That's camera stuff. Don't worry about that. I don't know how this got in there. Foamies, pack foam. Well, let's take that out. Don't need to repack that. Trash. Stuff at the bottom is always trash, right? Yeah, more trash. More camera mount. We don't need those. I think that's from the last trip to the range, just in case. Got a pair of rechargeable batteries. These are AAA's, and I also have AA's with my solar panel, which I've shown before. Way back when I got it, but it has the double A's in it that stays in the Jeep usually. I just carry on the triple A's to have. That's junk, Ziploc. So a couple Ziplocs there, and this is junk, paper clips, no big deal. Stuff that just happens to fall in your bag as you're using it. So we'll clean that out. What else we got in here? Anything? I think that about does it. So really, the biggest thing is candle. I got a survival candle. I build a shelter. Light your candle. Put that under you with your blanket. It's a good way to stay warm. Especially if that's all you got. Maximizing your resources, what you got. Obviously, hopefully, I'll be able to build a fire, but the candle's long lasting. You can huddle over it, wrap the blanket around you. That's a pretty good way to stay warm, among other things. If you had to build a snow shelter in some place where you out there on the East Coast right now, we're having so much snow because we don't have any here, it doesn't seem like. Build your snow shelter, put the candle in a position to where you can generate some heat within the shelter, but one biggest thing is making sure you're not getting CO poisoning, and that it's actually got some ventilation. Your candle will stay lit as long as you got ventilation. So that's a good way to test and make, as long as that candle's lit, you know you're getting the oxygen coming in. It's not so much it'll keep you drastically warmer in there, but it's a morale booster more than anything, plus a safety check. So that's what I got in my kit. That's the daily EDC. This works in conjunction with what you have on hand. So in my pocket items, I'm going to have my wallet. So a small amount of cash, change, which aren't really necessary tools, but lip balm, which can be lit and used as a small candle. Have that. Of course, you got your pocket knife, which I'm going to have on hand. Cell phone, which also has a light on it, and a messaging, hopefully, if it works. But you can also use it as a backup flashlight. Among other things, I've seen people start fires with them, but I've never been able to do that. And of course, you got your everyday carry piece, which you're going to have on you. So those things, and load out here. So that's my everyday carry. That's what you're going to have on you. Going to and from, carrying everywhere you go. I've got signaling, fire starting of many different shapes. I can audio signal, I can visual signal. I can build a fire for heat and warmth. I got some shelter building with the zip ties and the cordage and the survival blanket. A little bit of hygiene, just to, toothbrush, soap, your toothpaste. Yeah, I don't have my toothbrush in here. Where'd it go? I have to track down my toothbrush. Small amount of food, obviously survival, just energy to get you through 12-hour period or something, 24-hour period, maybe 36 if you're not doing too physical stuff. If you're really physical going at it, 2 protein bars are not gonna get you far. I guess you'd say it'll get you there, but you're not gonna be in what you'd call fighting shape. Small amount of medical kit, but ideally all of this is going to be joined in conglomeration with what you have in your vehicle and what you have on your person. So on my person, I only have clothing, a belt. Belt can be used in multiple purposes. Shoelaces, multiple purposes. So multiple ways to use cordage for building and stuff like that. Lashing together some sort of shelter if needed. Kind of an imagination thing at this point. But when I go and combine it with the things that I have in my vehicle or your vehicle, that's what really you can augment this with. Because, I pulled quite a bit of material, items out of this pack, but it still wasn't full. And there's things that I showed you that I could drop in an emergency and pull things out of my vehicle as needed, like water bottles, extra water. I got a tarp that I keep in the Jeep. Small shovel. I have a small shovel that, depending on what the situation was, Army folding shovel would be useful. That I could bring along in the pack, that I could slide in. anything like that, things like that. You could, if you needed to, take off your rear view mirror from inside your vehicle, take with you to use as a signaling mirror. There's just ideas like that. If your vehicle's drain out what gas or oil you can to use for fire starting, or you'd be able to use later for something like that. Really, your imagination is limitless at this point. I mean, if you have a vehicle that you're able to skeletonize, or what's the word for it, cannibalize. If you're able to cannibalize a vehicle, pulling your seats apart for insulation, having a bag to put that insulation in from your seats, pulling them apart and cutting them apart, taking that with you as a, in a large garbage bag, which I don't have one. Sometimes I have a large garbage bag. I don't have one in here. Pretty sure I got one in the vehicle, but you could take all that apart, put it in that garbage bag, carry it around. That would be like a sleeping bag system if you really needed to stay warm. If you needed something more warmth or more insulation, put it under you as a mat. I keep a ISO mat in the vehicle, so I could break that out, strap it to my pack here. I've got the cordage and stuff to do that, so that's not a problem. To be comfortable if you had to lay on the ground, especially in the winter, keep you that air, just that little bit of barrier to keep you warm and surviving. So you have a certain amount of items you can use for a certain amount of time, and there's other windows of opportunity. Maybe it's not your vehicle, maybe it's somebody else's vehicle you find on the side of the road. Cannibalize that thing for everything you can think of that you might need, that you can still find a way to attach to this pack and carry it out with you. So just some ideas, and just show some things that what I carry literally every day, and that when I need it, if I needed to, I'd have these items, and then I could cannibalize anything else that I needed extra. Going through my thought process, because one of the biggest things getting into any survival situation, if you want to call it SHTF, get home, first thing you got to do is think. One of the big things they pushed on pilots and stuff going through survival training in the military is orientate yourself and think and make a plan. It's the first thing you got to do, because running around panicked is going to waste probably everything you've got available to yourself. You got to estimate the situation and evaluate your needs. Are you injured? Things like that. What's your real capability to move or get help if you need it? If you need to signal, what capabilities do you have to signal? When's your next opportunity to signal? What's more important, getting rescued or moving? Things like that. Because like they say in survival too, your last known position is where people are going to be looking for you. So sitting still sometimes is the best option. Just automatically moving to where you think you need to go may not be the best option. It's happened a lot of times up in the mountains. People get lost, and they continue to move about frantically in circles or zigzagging or whatever. They continue to see. They end up coming around to the same place where they started. They're wandering around lost because they don't have a plan. They panic. They don't make a... There was a study done on the mental map people do have when they're lost. And it makes it very difficult, and that's a good reason to have something to write on. You can actually draw out your map, draw the terrain, and orientate yourself. Also using a compass, hopefully, if you don't have a map of the area already, and not have that problem, and actually move with a purpose in a certain direction for a certain reason. Because if you're totally lost, off the beaten path for some reason, and you totally don't know where you're at because you were chasing some deer or something, who knows? The best thing you can do is stay where you're at and look for an opportunity to signal people. So, anyway, kind of off tangent there, but thinking and planning is very important, even when it seems like you need to rush things and you don't. So, this is my AC bag, some of the stuff I carry, the reasons why. Hope it's useful to somebody, but again, shout out to Fourth Dimension, ACAS, the curmudgeon, whatever he's going by now. He's got like 3 different names. He did a good EDC bag layout, and I just thought it'd be a good opportunity to show the EDC and kind of thoughts behind what I carry. It is again, the bag is like a bare minimum, and then you augment it with things as you can when the situation arises, if possible. But this is like the minimum that I would want to be caught with at any given time, and then augment that with items in your vehicle when you get the chance, or from the home if you have to leave the home, I guess. But that would, I've got a bug out bag and a bit larger pack system for that. This is again leaving the home every day with this stuff to have for those things we just discussed. So, and I need to, I'd probably add a large trash bag to have that I could use, be useful in certain scenarios. But you don't want to load up too much. Again, there's a lot of stuff I can pull out of the vehicle. So, hope everybody enjoyed that. Hope you got something out of it. Live free.